I've been promoting gaming on Apple platforms for a long time, but I want to go a step further now by directly asking developers to bring their games to Apple platforms, and I'm starting with something realistic for Mac, the Dark Souls series by From Software. Dark Souls is one of the most popular and beloved video game franchises of all time, and it sells like hotcakes on whatever it's released on. Even if you've never played one of the games, you've most likely heard of it. It had a massive impact on the gaming industry, forming its own genre of Souls-like games. The Dark Souls games have been brought to almost all of the major video game systems, except for Mac. I'm collaborating with Elverils, who previously worked with Larian Studios and the Apple Metal Engineering team, to bring you Divinity Original Sin 2 to Mac and iPad and Baldur's Gate 3 to Mac. Together, we've set up a petition via change.org, which you can easily find in the video description. We've done this in an attempt to entice From Software to port the original Dark Souls Remastered to Apple M1 based Macs and Intel based Macs. If From Software ends up being interested, Elverils would like to be the porting house, but From Software would have to decide who the publisher is for Mac. Our goal is to get at least 30,000 signatures on change.org. This may not be very realistic, as the petition for the Valheim port on Mac only got 1,500 signatures out of the 2,500 target. But I'd like to give this a go. You can help by obviously signing the petition, or go a little further by sharing this news across social media channels. The more eyes we reach, the more appealing this platform will look to From Software. I believe it's important to start small, which is why we have chosen Dark Souls 1 first. Dark Souls 1 is a great stepping stone, as it obviously sells very well, has a massive player and fan base, and most importantly, it can perform really well on anything. In fact, on Apple M1 based Macs, if you run the game under the crossover application, which lets you run Windows apps on Mac, it can already achieve 60 FPS at 1080p Mac settings. But going through all this emulation, subscriptions, and confusing setup just to play a game is unintuitive. Native performance will always be better. Elverils can't promise you 120 FPS on M1, but on the next Apple Silicon chip, yes. All this talk is cool, but what would the Mac version of Dark Souls 1 entail? It's hard to say without evaluating the game's code, but Elverils estimate they can support the latest features available in macOS. It will run entirely on Metal 2.4, not Molten VK, and would be compiled by the latest version of Xcode. It will be built for Apple M1 or Apple Silicon based Macs and Intel based Macs. The Mac version would be available on the Mac App Store and Steam. Cross-play and cross-saves with Windows via Steam would be supported. Full controller support with rumble vibration would be available, and touch bar support for MacBook Pro. We estimate the port of Dark Souls 1 on Mac would take around 6 months. That is pure speculation though. Elverils would need to evaluate the game's code to get more specific timing. Obviously, if this went ahead, I would update you on the process of the port. If Dark Souls 1 ends up being successful, Elverils can port it to iPhone and iPad as well, with iCloud backup between Mac, and full controller support and keyboard and mouse support on iPad too. Virtual joysticks for third-person mobile games are often very, very, very bad, so it's worth stressing. The #1 priority for iOS will be doing a massive brainstorming of the touch interface. Dark Souls 1 has never even been considered for touch controls, so this would most likely take a while. Then, if that goes really well, Elverils can help to port Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 to Apple M1 based Macs and Intel based Macs. And then, if that goes well, it's not unrealistic to believe they can work with From Software's other recent games, such as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and then Elden Ring on the next generation Macs. But one step at a time. Even if we fail, at least we tried, and nothing would have been lost, apart from our reputation, which was already pretty poor anyway. This might be one of the most stupid decisions of my YouTube career, but modern Macs, especially Apple Silicon-based Macs, have so much more potential than developers and the general public give them credit for. The only thing stopping it from becoming a more viable gaming platform is us.